Savannah Guthrie has long been the face of the Today Show, known for her polished persona, insightful interviews, and bright smile. For over a decade, she's anchored the show with grace, keeping America informed, all while balancing motherhood and navigating personal hardships like her divorce. But beneath her perfect exterior, Savannah harbours a secret that stretches back 3 decades, before the cameras, before the spotlight. What if I told you there was another side to her life, one kept hidden from even her closest family? A double life, not full of scandal, but rather a shadow world filled with secrets that Savannah has carried quietly, even while her career soared. This hidden world began in her teenage years and followed her through her rise in journalism. It's a secret tied to an underground life, away from the watchful eyes of her mother, Nancy, who had her own rigid expectations for Savannah. And now, with her mother, Nancy's mysterious disappearance, that secret may be the key to unlocking the truth. The call that changed everything. It was February 10th, 2026, a foggy morning in Tucson when Savannah's world started unraveling. She was already in a temporary command center with her siblings, coordinating efforts to find their missing mother, Nancy. But a phone call that day wasn't from the police or FBI. It was from someone from Savannah's past. Eleanor. A name Savannah hadn't heard spoken in public for decades. Eleanor was someone who knew the real Savannah, the version of her she kept hidden from everyone. As the call began, Savannah's composure cracked. Eleanor dropped details about Savannah's past, referencing things only Savannah would know, secret memories and events from a time long buried. It became clear that Nancy's disappearance might not be random, but could be tied to that secret life. Eleanor's call revealed a connection to a world Savannah had kept under wraps for so long, and now, it seemed, that past was coming back to haunt her. A teenage rebellion that grew deeper. Savannah's upbringing in Tucson was seemingly normal. Raised by her mother Nancy after her father's sudden death, Savannah was the quintessential perfect daughter. Straight A's, law school bound, a promising future. But underneath that facade, she craved freedom from her mother's overbearing love. In high school, at the age of 16, Savannah stumbled into Elena Ramirez's world. Elena was an artist, activist, and a beacon of the counterculture that thrived in Tucson at the time. Elena and Savannah formed a fast bond, one that quickly grew into something more than friendship. Elena introduced Savannah to a world that was the polar opposite of her mother's strict rules. They attended underground rallies, explored their identities, and even created an alter ego for Savannah, Clark, her middle name. Clark became the part of Savannah that she couldn't show the world, the messy, rebellious side that didn't conform to her mother's expectations. It was in this world that Savannah found a place to breathe, a place where she could be herself without judgment. Living a double life. As Savannah's life progressed, her relationship with Elena remained a well-guarded secret. Even as she moved on to college, then law school, and eventually to her journalism career, she continued to keep up this double life. To the outside world, she was the ambitious, focused daughter Nancy had always wanted. But on weekends, Savannah would return to Tucson, her visits disguised as family trips, but actually an escape to see Eleanor. The two women shared dreams, fears, and the kind of intimate connection Savannah couldn't find anywhere else. Eleanor became her confidant, the one person who understood her beyond the polished image she presented to the world. But as Savannah's career soared, from local news to NBC, the secret became heavier to carry. Nancy's pride in her daughter's success, and her expectations that Savannah remain perfect, made it impossible to come clean. So, Savannah compartmentalized. public life as the ambitious journalist and private life as clerk, the messy, real version of herself. The family, confrontation. When Savannah finally confessed to her siblings, Annie and Cameron, about her double life, the room was filled with tension. They listened in stunned silence as Savannah told them everything. How she had lived a secret life for over 30 years. How Eleanor had been her escape from the suffocating expectations of their mother. Annie and Cameron were shocked. They had no idea about the rallies, the alter ego, or the years of hidden visits to Tucson. But the deeper question remained. How did this secret life connect to Nancy's disappearance? Was Eleanor somehow involved? Savannah assured them that Elena wasn't to blame, but feared that the past, including people from those early days, might have resurfaced. As the FBI became involved, Eleanor's name was added to the investigation, but the emotional fallout was immediate. Savannah had kept a part of herself, hidden from everyone, including the people she loved most, and now that secret might be the reason for their mother's abduction. Their activist past and the shadow of revenge. As the investigation unfolded, Savannah revealed even more. She explained that during one protest in 1992, a man named Ricky Torres had made threats against their group. Eleanor had always believed it was a passing threat, but now, with Nancy's home targeted and the police unable to find a clear motive, it seemed like it might be tied to the past. Elena was convinced that Torres, who had disappeared years ago, had resurfaced and might have been targeting Nancy as a way to hurt Savannah, who had walked away from that part of her life. The siblings wrestled with the possibility of a long-buried grudge coming back to haunt them. Was Nancy's disappearance part of a vengeful act tied to their past? Or was it something more? The FBI was investigating the connection, but Savannah felt a deep guilt. Could her secret life have endangered the woman who raised her? The weight of that realization was almost too much to bear. Reconciliation and the road ahead. As the sun set over Tucson, Savannah sat on the porch with Elena. Their conversation was quiet, filled with years of unspoken words and emotions. Elena had kept the truth hidden for as long as Savannah had, and though she was hurt by the secrecy, she understood why Savannah had kept her hidden. It was the fear of disappointing Nancy, of losing her love and approval that had driven Savannah to keep that part of her life a secret. But as they stood together, Savannah realized that she didn't have to hide anymore. The mask she had worn for so long, of the perfect daughter, the perfect journalist, was slipping away. The real Savannah, the messy, vulnerable woman who had struggled with her identity for years, was finally stepping into the light. And perhaps that was the first step towards solving the mystery of her mother's disappearance. The beginning of the end. Eleanor's arrival brought a glimmer of hope to the investigation. She provided old photos, letters, and other documents that might tie Ricky Torres to the case. As the FBI investigated further, they uncovered a potential lead. A man matching Ricky's description was seen near Nancy's home before her disappearance. Though it wasn't definitive proof, it was a thread worth following. For the first time in days, Savannah felt a flicker of hope. Her mother's love had shaped her life, but in this moment, it was Savannah's own strength, her willingness to finally face the truth, that might help bring Nancy home. The journey was far from over, but with the mask off, Savannah was ready to face whatever came next.